Good evening, YouTube. HeirofCarthage here, and I am excited to be back in the end times. You know, this has probably been my favorite campaign playthrough of all times, which is funny because Archaon and Chaos would not rank probably even in my top 5 for favorite Warhammer campaigns. So what has made it fun? Honestly, the theme to it, and then you guys' participation in this has made this the most fun campaign I've ever done. So thank you. Wanted to thank you all. Thank you for being here tonight. The campaign is nearing the end, though it is not over. We've still got work to do. There are quite a few dwarves left, as you can see. We must wipe them in order to gain achievement here. So you can see dwarves are the last thing standing in between us and a long campaign victory. And on this episode, we will have no shortage of dwarf slaughter, like the Siege of Karaz-a-Karak, which should be a special map. And Akendorf fell. We can now head over. I think we'll see if we can trap some dwarves at Karak-Engazar. And then we have our armies almost ready to infiltrate the forest and burn the Oak of Ages, as it was requested. So let's hit a few comments from folks, and then we will kick things off. I will see you there. Alright, so Sanks is going to have the first comment this week. He says, "Hey Air, how about after defeating the dwarves, you take all your armies to the largest concentration of dark elves and camp them together in reinforcement range, declare war on Morathi, and cause the single largest battle in Warhammer Total War history for the grand finale." I will consider that. You all tell me what you think of Sanks' comment. Head down there in the comments and tell me if you want to see something like that. Now, we did already get a request to have Archaon 1v1 an entire army. I will honor that request, but you all let me know if this is something else you think we need to add. Darko Man says, Day 1, Avengers. Day 2, Game of Thrones. Day 3, The End Times. Glad I could help you out, man. I don't belong in those worlds, but thank you very much. Now, Napoleon Lesser says, the most epic Warhammer battles ever come from this playthrough. Well, you know what? The most epic viewers ever come through this playthrough. So, Napoleon the Lesser, thank you for being here, and thank you everybody else. So I will gladly tell you all that this just isn't the same, obviously, without your participation, so thank you. Pyrrhic Strategos asked that we name the fire sorcerer the Burninator. I like that for multiple reasons. One, because it's kind of fun, and two, because Strategos requested it, and he's awesome. He's been around on a lot of streams for me, and I always appreciate that. But then also because it kind of reminds me of Strongbad from Homestar Runner. Some of you may be too young for that, but it was fun times nonetheless. So here we go. We've got the Burninator. Or actually, you know what? No, hang on. Cancel. We can just leave his. We can leave this name here. Oh, I'm getting ideas, but my clicking isn't following what my head wants me to do. The Burninator. So there we go. We got the Burninator. Alright, that will take care of the comments. Like I said, about one turn here, and we should be finished with the recruitment of the Burninator's army. And we'll be ready to move on in. Now, Elvis the Blind Swordsman has some skill points. I'm going to go ahead and start on Scarred Veteran, Woundmaker, and then Blade Shield, which, of course, make those units absolutely absurd over time. We've got Patchy the Eversalt and Sigvald, who just cut their way through Akendorf. And Sigvald will need to maintain camp, so I will keep the Eversalt nearby with his abominations, constantly keeping Sigvald irritated with their very presence. And, I mean, that's just the way that we do things. Let's give him some missile resistance there for the Kentucky Friar. Never a bad thing. And then for Besornling, the character. He's a character, but he's now the character here. Oof. We haven't finished off his Manticore line here. Let's do that. There's a bunch of stuff we can still give him. And then I believe that means that we're in for a siege. The Siege of Karaz-a-Karak. I believe I was waiting on some siege towers. Indeed. We're waiting on one more siege tower. So let's continue. I can't remember exactly what that map looks like, because it's going to be one of the campaign custom map mod maps. Archaon doesn't have any movement points, but look at this. filthy Skaven hanging out with dwarves. It's pathetic. It's absolutely pathetic. We will make them pay. Anyway, I think it's time to end our turn, though Archaon himself picks up another skill point. He's at 56. Very near the end of his potential height here. And wow, does he have some stats, folks. Does he ever have some stats? Oh my gosh, 145 charge. I feel like we need to spend some of our last ones on these skill points because he's going to try and 1v1 an entire army by himself. Oh wow. I mean, he is just incredible. The stats on Archaon, absolutely incredible. Appius, he has the stat that we can't spend, and that is going to be that. Assault unit's a success. This is an outrage. How does such a thing even happen? I don't agree with that outcome. I don't know what kind of success it was. Research rates. Oh boy. Anyway, the siege towers are ready. And Felman Ingerson is ready to besiege the dwarves, and Kolek is definitely ready to crack some armor and show these dwarves who the god under the mountain really is. And it's not the dwarves, in case you all were wondering, but this is a significant dwarf garrison that even gives them a slight edge in the balance of power. Lots of hammerers. They have artillery, iron drakes, iron breakers, slayers, thunderers. Oh yes, even a flame cannon. Well, let's have some fun here, shall we? Mordem Scrollson, if that is his name. A proud Dawi. A Dawi who had long been a defender of the great keeps of the Stunties. Yeah, I know they don't call themselves Stunties, but this is my narration, so just deal with it. He finds himself the last defense of the great dwarf capital, Karaz-a-Karak, and it's all come down to this. Can he defend the pride of the Dawi against the everlasting wave of chaos that has rolled in from the north and laid waste to the old world? Well, let's see, shall we? And we are in a custom map mod. This is an absolutely beautiful map here that's been put together. You can see the walls of Karaz-a-Karak here, giving the dwarves a nice choke point to fight in, but is the choke point really their advantage here? I'm not quite so certain. You can see that I've got Felman and Cocopox moving in here, along with Romulus and Remus, and they are ready for dwarf blood. See my dragon fly up above here, and he's going to be dropping a quite lethal breath attack here. You can see that the movement on the map is a little funky, as it is with most custom maps. Going to cause some pretty tremendous damage, and then come charging on down in. The dwarves are going to start opening fire on him, but they will get hit by a vortex, the purple sun of Zerus, which will be causing some significant damage. And then Felman and his Chaos Dragon are going to drop in and begin the slaughter, along with his Manticore support. The siege towers, now I can only fit 4 of them. I did take the time to get 6, but hey, my troops will be able to move up without taking any injuries. You can see Skullux back here looking to go join Felman. Leaves 2 giant Chaos Dragons that the dwarves have to contend with, on top of the elite infantry, the likes of which the old world has never known. You can see the flame cannons there, attempting to bring down my towers, and the dwarf skirmishers on the walls trying in vain to stop the 7 deadly sins along with Kolek from breaking through the gates. Despite the artillery barrage, my chosen come through unscathed because of their towers. I'm going to get on the walls and start quickly laying waste to the dwarf defenders who are in their way. But that doesn't mean the dwarves won't put up a fierce fight here, because they will. They've got iron breakers, iron drakes, flame cannons. See the iron breakers here. With my men bunched up into a small pocket, they'll take tremendous damage from the iron breakers, actually almost being nearly entirely annihilated on a single throw there because of how condensed they are. Kolek has busted through the walls, and he and his sins are going to plow on through and make way for all the other grotesqueries that are looking to get in here and get a piece of the dwarves. You can see the grumbling guard. And here's Kolek is going to throw his weight around, quite literally. They're going to plow through, make a tunnel. There's still a large pocket of Dawi resistance back here in the back. Their lord moving forward to take the fight. Their organ guns firing. All the Dawi desperate to stop this monstrous invasion. But Kolek and his dragon ogres have broken through to the second level. They'll begin to fight there. The Iron Breakers are still unleashing their explosive volleys there. Meanwhile, my armored Chaos Trolls arrive on scene. Begin kicking dwarves, quite literally. Vomiting on them. Definitely attempting to add insult to injury. Look at these Iron Drakes here. Here comes all the standard Dragon Ogres as well. And if Kolek's Dragon Ogres weren't enough for the dwarves to contend with, and they are contending with their very lives, Felman and Skullex have arrived to make their life far worse. See Felman unleashing a breath attack, and then Skullex the Great about to unleash a breath attack of his own before diving down in what's quite possibly going to be the most insane slaughter of stunties ever documented. The dwarves are not in a happy place right now. All they can do is dream about better days at Pugman's breweries. Days of an age past. Oh, the slaughter. It's just beautiful. Are you not entertained? I know I am. The Chaos Giant. Just brutal. No one stands a chance in the waves of chaos here. They can't match my army in any way. I mean, they can have superior range, but a lot of good it does them. As soon as my troops close the distance, it's just an immediate slaughter. And other than a couple of random slayers, that's gonna be it. The defense of Karaz-a-Karak is broken, and relatively easy. The dwarf capital not able to hold out in the least against the superior forces of chaos. Now only the slayers really remain. See a fleeing, grumbling guard. And this poor slayer getting knocked around as if a plaything. And he is a plaything. Oh my goodness, he survived? This is like the little... Oh man, 2 hits! This is like the little slayer who could. Yeah, okay, maybe not a third time. Third time was not the charm there for the slayer. And that's gonna be it for all of his kin. Now, if there was a definition of defeat in the dictionary of Warhammer in Total War context, then this is the definition of said defeat for the dwarves. They didn't kill a single unit entity of Kolek's army, and only 74 warriors fell for the loss of their capital city. Yeah, seems about right. And guess what, folks? Burn it! Burn it to the ground. Capital city of the dwarves. Oh yes. I don't know what capital they were referring to. And you're a bit too late there, True Eye, aren't you? I don't know what your eye is true on. If you're keen on getting your face pounded, then you're just in time for that. It's gonna screw me over on any of my units. Good. Be gone, dwarves. Ooh, the loot. These little buggers have lots of cash for the stealing. I enjoy that. So, another massive defeat of the Dawi at the hands of my far superior warrior Chaos. This poor Dawi don't even have a chance. I don't know why I say poor Dawi, because it's not like I really feel sorry for him in this particular context, because I'm playing a Chaos campaign, but oh boy. Poor chomps. I just can't help but laugh. Oh. Yeah, it's good stuff. Anyway, Karaz-a-Karak has fallen. And with it, and maybe even before it, pretty much the hopes of all the Dawi with it. They are in some pretty serious dog-do at this point. I'm going to push forward with Archaon. And there are dwarves that may try and get behind me, which is unfortunate, but I want to stay in the action. We've got to take out Agrul Migdal and Galbraz, so we'll get rid of these two settlements, though, like I said, it's possible the dwarves try and get in behind me and start resettling like everybody likes to do. The good thing is that as I leave these chaos gates, they can potentially spawn troops onto the battlefield, as you were seeing up here in Sylvania, which can be helpful for keeping some of these losers at check. But yeah, let's take these armies now with the Eversalt and Sigvald. You can see, I believe, oh no, the dwarves have fallen to Barak Var, where they wish to actually potentially put up a fight. I very much look forward to this. So I'm going to move into position. I don't know if we can actually reach the settlement, though. Unfortunately, we can't. So neither one of my armies can reach the settlement, which means that it's likely that Cobalt Clanbreaker flees with his Bugman's Rangers and his Hammerers. We shall see whether he will stay and defend his keep at Barak Var, like a proud dwarf, or if he'll flee like a coward, as he most likely should at this point, in all reality. I mean, what are his chances of survival? Not good. Not good at all. Let's see, Terhilius the Chronicler here. He's now immortal. He's always immortal for his storytelling. He's been immortal for us, but now it's official. And then Vardek Krom here. His Chaos Dragon. Let's see what we want to do. I'm going to start dumping stuff into Hard to Hit and Charge. Should be a good place for it to be spent. We can now properly, I think, sort out these armies here. These are the troops. Yeah, these are Vardek's troops that were put to work, basically. We've got all these guys just in case we have to fight against a bunch of dragons. So let's start swapping troops back around here. Alright. I believe all of these troops were ones that we wanted to put into this other army. And we had... Did our agent get wounded along the way? No. Just got held up over here.
Destruction. I foresee destruction.
I'm actually still 2 units shy on this one. But we can recruit this weird spawn. And then that leaves us only 1 unit shy. And I'll go ahead and make up for it as quick as I can. I'm going to go ahead and start putting some buildings together here. And we are ready to enter the forest at this point. Ooh, look at that, 3 dragons. So yes, we'll now be ready to enter the realm of the Wood Elves for some entertainment. We know that their assaulting of units will do very, very little. Very little indeed. There's a significant number of dragons in Durthu here at the King's Glade. But we're about to get a big battle against the Wood Elves, and this is going to be both scary and fun in the sense that I hope I'm not running into more Way Watchers than I expect. Because things could get real interesting real fast if that's the case. I'm going to take Vardek Krom in the lead and siege King's Glade. We're going to encircle it. Oh, my dragons. 5 dragons, the Firebark Elders, Durthu. Yikes. We've also got Loic's Tricksters, the Hawkeyes of Drakira here. Oh, this is going to be interesting. Now, there was way more dragons than this in the forest earlier, so I will be happy to take this fight versus what we could have had. Let's move the Burninator in as he gets his debut in the campaign. Get a big battle started here. Even with the reinforcements, it still gives the Wood Elves a very good chance. Interesting. Ooh, how very picturesque. It won't remain this way for very long, but check it out, folks. Durthu, Spellsinger on an eagle, 5 forest dragons. Oh, and possibly one of the coolest looking units in the game, these Firebark Elders. Oh my gosh, that's such an awesome unit. Too bad I gotta kill it. We've got an ancient tree man, or a tree man here, and Durthu, the Sword of Daith. I do really like the way all this looks. It's an absolutely beautiful map. What a place for an epic battle. And speaking of epic battle, I've got the Soul of Damnation across the way. In King's Glade, you see the Amber Spear coming in, attempting to punish us. Oh my goodness, this game is absolutely beautiful. I've played this game for a couple of years now, and I still can't get over how just fantastic it looks. And the epicness of the battles cannot be overstated. It's one of the reasons why I like the formula in Warhammer. Less focus on the campaign map, more focus on epic, amazing battles. And we get plenty of that. So my line of halberds is going to come forward and seek to attack the elves, since we don't necessarily just want to sit back. Now Kevin, the Dragon Ogre here, is going to be the first one to come up and engage Durthu, but he's also kind of bait. So kind of sucks to be Kevin right now. He's going to be attempting to bait all of these forest dragons. He will get backed up. You can see he's the first to take his axe to Durthu's hide. But Durthu is one extremely tough tree. Gonna have his tree man coming in, and here indeed Kevin is going to become the focus point of these forest dragons. The Hawkeyes of Drakira are the focus of the fire from my cannons. You can see my giant over here, and now my cavalry coming in. I want to help take on all these large units. Put some mass up here so that my infantry doesn't get totally flattened. Then here comes Vardek and his corps of Manticore into a fight of heavyweights. A huge fight of heavyweights. So you can see that there is a huge blob of units here. Otherwise, my infantry will do quite fine. Kevin had to take a temporary reprieve, little leave of absence, while he heals up from that initial barrage. I have cavalry and more troops incoming. Durthu will not give up easily, so despite being massively outmatched here, the old tree puts up a pretty impressive fight. And some scenery that is hard to forget. Look at that eagle cruising around back there, too. If you guys don't have this game, you gotta buy this game. Sells itself here. Look at the Firebark Elders, amongst other units here. These Tricksters of Loec. There's no tricking my infantry here. Then the cavalry has come in to support them as well. See Vardek Krom chasing dragons. And Durthu is in his last moments here, fighting up against some very overwhelming odds, and despite having some backup there, he's in a tough fight with all this cavalry and halberds. It is tearing away at him. You see Elvis the Blind Swordsman here being one of the main to take on Durthu. Oh, I love it. Look at that eagle back there chucking people. Chaos. Chaos for the win. Down Durthu goes at the hands of one of my Manticore. Now Vardek and his team are working to clean up this fight. There's a few treekin holding them down here. The forest dragons are trying to get up in the air. and continue to cycle charge and use their breath attacks, but it's becoming a rather fruitless effort. Kevin, now looking for vengeance, comes after the Firebark Elders. And the Wood Elves are on their last legs here at the King's Glade. And with this, the doors to the forest will be wide open. And the Oak of Ages will soon be in defense. Or turned into a fence, or a barbecue. One of the two. Another amazing battle here. Well, if Durthu can be felled, then I don't suppose the Axe of Chaos could be stopped by the Oak of Ages either. Ooh, another potion of healing. Excellent.
Yes, brass powers.
There we go. Alright, so we are encamped. And, I need to get more growth before I can build up any more there to fill up our last unit. We're camped near the Oak of Ages. Intiro picks up his first, the Burninator. And we need to start working on his ability to burninate if he's going to actually burninate anything. Which, honestly, at this late in the game, he probably won't be burninating a whole lot. But, nonetheless, we do want him to do some burning at some point. There's a couple of dwarf armies running off in this direction. I'm not really sure exactly what they're up to. The dwarves did choose not to run at Barak Var. I'm pleasantly surprised with their lack of cowardice. Give these stunties some respect for showing some honor here. Now that is going to be a flaming entertainment right there with Grombrindle in this siege. I am going to get a few siege towers together because they have some significant infantry. Continue the siege. I could go straight at them. They don't have a lot of armor piercing.
Very well, I'll move.
Might be more entertaining, but I'll hold off momentarily. I'm going to go ahead and take the fight down here to Varunka Hills. So let's move down with Felman and Kolek. Continue the siege here. Move in our second army. There's a Skaven rebellion going on at Karak. That's what they get for taking up arms with freaking rats. I mean, who does that? Who does that? I don't know why we're not getting the reinforcements here, but whatever. Why do they always kill my giant? Freaking horse crap auto-resolve. Grief. Alright. Let's loot this settlement to the ground. You know what? The giant is fun to have. He is. But they always kill my giant. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we need the 7 deadly sins, so... You know what? We're bringing in another deadly sin. That's all there is to it. That's all there is to it. Here comes the 7th deadly sin. Felman, find yourself some camp there, son. We're going to finish off the Blood River Valley and then continue the destruction of the dwarves there. Archaon has to choose a target. I'm pretty sure the dwarves may have fallen in behind me, which is frustrating. But we can double back to them. There's going to be dwarf settlements all up along here, so we can pick and choose, honestly. Let's just head for Galbraz. It's the closest, and we should be able to get back into the action quickly there. I don't need to level up Appius. Alright. Another turn, another wave of destruction to unleash. Kolek has to finish training his new deadly sin. Meanwhile, I see no reason why Felman can't continue his murderous rampage. Picked up another filth mace. I like me a good filth mace. It's a very nice weapon. Is it showing there? It's like showing a dwarf settlement, but it's almost like it's in the wrong place. There are quite a few Dawi here. Cobalt is nearby. Will he come to the aid of Grombrindle?
Invade!
Will it get a proper battle up here? It would be very interesting to see. Very interesting indeed. But I don't know if we will get to see it, unfortunately. We shall see. Galbraz is within our reach here. And it's of no significance whatsoever. Really? You kill the sons of the last plague? What is with the auto-resolve? Doing the dirty work of the dwarves here. Well, unfortunately for them, I can just recruit them straight back, so choke on that. Stupid cheating auto-resolve. Can't take the fact that I'm better. Alright, here's Fellman. Let's see. Ooh, how did that... What? I don't even understand what happened there. I didn't click that. Alright, so Barak Var will soon be ready for a massive battle. We've got our 7th Deadly Sin on the way. And I do believe that we are ready to move against the Oak of Ages. Though we'll have to pull up and take a position and get all of our troops together here before we actually lead the assault. But the Oak is definitely within reach at this point. We just have a few troops who need to heal up a little bit. Kevin took a beating, and so did Pinky. Nearby, more dragons and tree men being mustered against us. And a pretty significant garrison at the Oak of Ages. We'll see how this goes. Oh man, it's gonna be so good. So good indeed. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed the episode. This one will be a little shorter than some, but it's all the time I have for tonight. I've got a whole lot of stuff coming up. We're going to destroy Barak Var. We're going to destroy the Oak of Ages on the next turn. And Archaon's going to continue to push northward in an attempt to meet up with his forces, though we do have Agrul Migdal here that's going to have to go down in the process, but the dwarves are feeling a serious pinch and don't have a whole lot longer left. I will be looking for that opportunity for Archaon's 1v an army, and you all tell me what you think of the ideas that we talked about in the beginning. HeirofCarthage, signing out for now. I will see you all soon.